my Mercurial mercenaries. I thought I'd try something different. To avoid getting a copyright strike, I thought I'd play one of my own albums and react to it. Now this isn't as weird as it sounds, because I haven't listened to this album for a long time. And you know when you haven't heard something for a long time, sometimes when you do hear it, it can sometimes be kind of like for the first time. But also I thought, I've got things to talk about because I made the bloody thing. This album I'm going to play to you now is by a band called the 11th Hour Initiative, TEHI. It's a band that I'm in with a guy from America called Bill Ryan. And this album is called The Only Way Out Is Through. Let's just press play and then we can talk. Like I say, the only way out is through. The most important thing to know about this album, and the thing I can tell you straight away, is that it is based upon the film Apocalypse Now by Francis Ford Coppola. Bill and I decided that we wanted to soundtrack a film. But rather than soundtrack an imaginary film, we thought we'd soundtrack a film that already exists. So that's what we did. It was quite a big undertaking. If you want to hear in depth about this album with Bill and I both talking about it, there is something that I'll link to in this video where we both talk about it in a Philadelphia skyscraper. But this is just us listening to it. I'm not sure how many of you will persevere. Let's give it a go. If I was listening to it as a casual observer, I'll try to. Very stringsy, very atmospheric opening. I know what's going to happen now. That sinks with an explosion in Vietnam. That's the main thing about this album. I basically muted the film and I wrote music that complemented the film. And what I tried to do especially was to sync the music up with the film, so that if you mute Apocalypse Now and play this music with it, it will tie in. And there's definitely an electronic feel at the beginning of this album. Again, explosions. This is Bill singing, Bill Ryan from New Jersey. I met him through the internet, funny enough, years ago now. I'm just saying all this off the top of my head, so apologies if I get anything wrong, Bill. And we met up a couple of times now. We've met in New York, we've met in Philly. I consider him a good friend and a compadre, partner in crime, partner in musical crime. And on this album, I mainly wrote the music and recorded the music. And Bill mainly wrote the lyrics and sang the lyrics. A little bit of overlap here and there. There's bits where I'm singing, there's bits where he's playing instruments, but that was kind of a split. Music and vocals. One of the main things that I get up to on this album is trying to avoid making it sound too Western. Trying to make it sound as if it's from that part of the world, which involved trying to drop a little bit of the... I mean, if you know me at all, you know how much I love drums. I love drums, I love frantic drums, I love big, bombastic John Bonham-esque drums. I love drums. It was interesting taking a step back from that. Using more Asian instrumentation. Kind of like tying your hands behind your back in a way, especially if you're as frantic as I am. Dust and mirrors, clearer lights. I sing this bit now. Smearing time. I try to compliment his vocals. And right now, let me just say that Bill's lyrics, his actual written lyrics, are second to none. Second to none. This is a song we called The Beginning. It was always called The Beginning, it never changed its name. It wasn't the first song we wrote for the album, but it was certainly a song that was always destined to be at the start. And writing music to complement scenes from the film gives you a definite order for the album. You can't deviate. Here's an example right now of one of my main sync-ups. It's the blinking. It's Martin Sheen's blinking. I purposefully tied that section up to the blinking of his eyes. And this whole section now, this was on the album, then off the album. On the album, then off the album. In the end, we left it on the album. I'm very well aware that people do want the pop hit. And this isn't a pop hit. This is atmosphere. Oh, what an atmosphere. I love a party with a happy atmosphere. So let me take you there, and you and I'll be dancing in the cool night air. But this is quite emotional. I'm ruining the moment by singing Russ Abbott. This is Martin Sheen kind of having a breakdown in his hotel room. And this is all leading up to him punching the mirror. Another huge sync-up moment. It's coming up now. Just punches very much a song that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and he smashes the mirror. And then we just kind of relax into devastation and blood. There's so many layers of instrumentation going on there. It sounds so simple, yet like everything in life, like most things in life, no, it's not simple. It's not simple. So I would say that's quite, I spoke over it. That's quite a big, epic opening track for an album, for any album. And after that, we knew we needed something to pull you guys back in, because that might have been a bit freaky. So this is the pop song on the album, I suppose. And I think this was one of Bill's main musical contributions to the album. I've still worked a bit of production on there, added stuff, moved stuff around, arranged. This is a song called, looks over his shoulder, this is a song called Floodlights. I like it, it's very New Order, a little bit, kind of Blue Monday kind of thing. Still, it's electronic drums and everything, but listen to the Asian instruments, the drumming in the background, still there. In fact, that's not even a drum, is it? That's bass as drum. Very percussive bass. Right, the actual drums are going to come in now. And I've tried to make it massive, and to me it still sounds a little bit late 90s. What was that band called? I Can Be Your Woman. What were they called? White Town. It's about layering. You have the drums, but to raise it a level, just stick a tambourine on top. But this is supposed to be quite hypnotic, and I think the album as a whole, I don't know, Stevie Wonder. Actually, yeah. This is a bit Stevie Wonder. Just in the head movements. You know what I mean? And now we're opening up a little bit more. Running away from me. Alright. It's just running away from me. Layering vocals. Vocal upon vocal. Drums upon percussion. Sort of ethnic and electronic. Bring in here, I think, the Ebo on the guitar. That's kind of a 90s alternative guitar thing to do if you were into James or Radiohead or whatever. And this album is very much made to, the songs are supposed to do this. And in that respect, a little bit King Gizzardy, a little bit Pink Floydy. Perhaps this is a prog rock album. This is one of my favourite songs. This is called Sampan Massacre. As I joked with Bill, it's not a very pop name for a song, Sampan Massacre. This was the first song we wrote. It was a few years ago, and Bill said to me, we should soundtrack a film. And he hoped I would know what he meant. And I sent him this music. And he said, that's it. You know what I mean. Inside my fear, below my recollection, armies surround my best intentions. For me, personally, if I had to make a comment, this is Bill's finest singing on the album. But listen to the percussion there. I was trying to evoke a spirit of somewhere else. Very cinematic. Hopefully you can hear that. Supposed to evoke atmosphere. Joining him on the vocals there just to get a little bit more fucking bit of that. And now I wanted it to go really. Fireflies, what does it make me? Just what does this make me? Sacred and insane. This is just insane. Again, it's a pretty song. Now into the main acoustic riff again. The first thing I came up with for the album, this acoustic. That's me just complementing it with a bit of inspired by the 80s sitcom Dear John. Dear John, Dear John, close your eyes. I'm speaking over the most beautiful moment on the album. Close your eyes. This song could have been called Close Your Eyes, but it's not. It's called Sampan Massacre. Just syncing with the film. My soul still looks for me out here, reflecting in your endless eyes, we disappear. And I tried to make it so that vocal did disappear. And then the vocals, my comes back in. Not the belch. Bit 10cc at the end. Perhaps not necessarily catchy. See what I mean there, see what I mean? Ebo comes straight in, does that. Prog rock! Perhaps it's not catchy, but this was always going to be an album that was going to divide people. It was going to divide people. This is TEHI's second album. This was the follow-up to our debut album, Escapism. I should have done this to Escapism, really. Escapism's a more rocking album. It's more, as typical as I can be. Escapism's a more typical indie album. It's a bit more Flaming Lips, Radiohead. This, I'd be interested to know what you guys think this sounds like, because I never quite pinpointed it. It's a thoughtful album. It's a quiet album in many respects. When someone who's not drinking 6.6% beer isn't talking all over it. I play a guitar solo. I do a little run now. Oh, I'm doing robotic dancing. play a bit of piano now. Actually, this is one of my favourite bits on the album. I've been listening to a lot of Miles Davis. Kind of blue at this point, I think. Ebo back in. Bit of New Order. That was very much me trying to make you think of New Order. Totally. Hands up, baby, hands up. Give me your heart, give me your heart, give me. Some of Bill's most meaningful lyrics here. In the documentary we filmed in Philly, which I linked to, I think he explains a little bit about this song, and it'll make you cry. It'll make you cry. Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? I wanted to loop this. Can you forgive me? Just have his pleading. And it ends with him pleading, can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? I just wanted it to sound ethereal. And backwards instrumentation always sounds ethereal. Sorry, I know I'm looking a little bit dim doing that, but you know when you listen to something and you kind of forget how good it is? Yes, this is my album, so it's a bit, but I'm allowed to like my own work. Someone's got to. That riff is lovely. What a lovely riff. Beautiful, pretty riff. Today. Build up. And then down. I like playing with reverbs, and this song I try and make it sound like Bill's singing in a cavern, and then I build up the size of the cavern, build it up, and then pull it down. We go again. Make it massive, and then pull it down to nothing. Like a fuck off big cat has just eaten a mouse. I love stuff like this. It's not all about being catchy. There's room for textures. Bill got me into the Animal Collective a few years ago, and there's a room for textures, and even with the recent albums I've been listening to by the likes of King Gizzard, Dawn of Good Infinity, things like that. It's just looping sounds, looping textures to the point where your head explodes. And that's what this album is kind of doing. It's supposed to be taking you on a journey into the heart of darkness, my mercenaries. I remember when I came up with this bit here. I think the main song here is Bill's music. But when I came up with this, that guitar over the top, I did that and I just thought, yes. This sounds like early 80s, like two-tone ska or something. And then you bring this massive, beautiful, lolloping melody in. Holy shit. Oh, that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. Beautiful. Trying to remember the lyrics. No one. I knew the lyrics once. No one can save us when we embark today. That's what it did to end there. A massive bloody Chinese gong at the end. I said to Bill, there's not enough gong on this album. He said, Bill said, I'm trying to remember the Saturday Night Live sketch. More, what was it? More, doesn't matter. Cowbell. Bill said, I want more cowbell. I said, yeah, Bill. Except, let's just have a Chinese gong, alright? Again, just layering. Layering and layering and layering and layering. Layering and layering. This album took... When did I release it? We released it August 19th, 2016. And I think we started it late 2011. 2012. 4 or 5 years this album took. Which is why I do find it funny that I'm listening to albums by King Gizzard at the moment. That they're releasing 2 or 3 albums a year. This one album took 4 or 5 years to make. I am a perfectionist, alright? That's not to say King Gizzard aren't perfectionists, it's just different ways of working. There's a place for... There's a place for everything in the world. There's a place for chucking it out, and there's a place for just thinking about something and living with it. I love doing that. I think I used a heavy metal pedal to do that. If you are a guitar player, I think I used a Boss. I think I used the Boss HM2. This is tremolo picking. Yes. Let's put the volume up. I'm sorry, it's ever so quiet in here, isn't it? That's better. Johnny Greenwood and the guy out of Muse. They didn't invent tremolo picking. Many of us have done it for many years. Many years. Hopefully you're getting that cinematic vibe. Hopefully you're getting the epicness of this. It felt epic when we were making it, and to be honest, listening to it now, it still feels epic now. It's a different... I can't do my usual... I'm sweating again. That's an interesting little stutter I put there in the instrumentation. People might think that's a mistake. If you listen back to that bit, there's a moment where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put an extra and in that no one else would do, but I put it in there. It actually makes it time with the film exactly. And sometimes the constrictions of having to time with the film meant that the music sounded more weird. But whereas usually I'd be, giving it all this, this is more of a timpani drums with big beaters. It's more of a double hand. Swim, swim, swim. Now, I was just having fun with drumming. You know I love drumming with Mercenaries. Bam! Got it in the wrong place. It's now. There it is. I wanted to get like an Enigma sound. Remember Enigma? That dance band from the early 90s? Looking for your face, running through the tall grass. Liar for your face. Still running through the tall grass. I'm always bringing something that I'll bring in something else there. Yeah. The tall grass. After you, I was calling out to you. I like that one. That was quite dancey. You could actually dance to that one, can you? Almost. Do you know what? This is making me realise. I built most of these songs on a bed. On a bed of beautiful, strange sounds and strange rhythms. Because like I've said to you before, I sit here and I just give it all this. If you listen to this, for those who don't really know me and you wondered what my music would sound like, it's all about the arms. Even that. No one told me what I'd do if I tried further the edge of the world. This is past the edge of the world. There's a Riders of the Storm bass line going on there. I can dish it out and I can take it. It's another one of those two hands, my Mercenaries. Boom, boom. Now I play the real bass now. Sort of Riders on the Storm-esque thing, but I play it on an actual bass. Oh, I think I do a massive guitar solo now, don't I? Yes, I do. Here we go. Here we go, guitar solo time. Oh. how to embarrass oneself in massive public. More tremolo picking. But listen to the drumming though. Here we go. I love doing this drums. I love doing drums. Pinch harmonics on Mercenaries. Past the edge of the world, we're fighting for our souls. Past the edge of the world. Past the edge of the world. Past the edge of the We're nearing the end now, my mercenaries, to the journey into the heart of darkness, and probably into the most complicated song of them all. A song called The Bridge. This song took Bill and I... Do you know what? It probably took a full year of work, this song. The time, like I say, other bands, Alice Cooper in the 70s, King Gizzard now, the time other bands can do 2-3 albums, this song took a whole year. I should probably just shut up and let you bask in it, but this song took a whole year. So just bear that in mind. This is the boat going along the river. Imagine the Via heading towards Colonel Kurtz's camp.
My soul is chasing the brink. My body waiting to
Sink.
Resolve made second to none. Disfigured is the mark that we've become. My heart is starting to race. My head caught
Up in a chase. It's kind of rapping, isn't it? Slow rapping. A slow rap, like a slow waltz. I spoke over that bit, but I remember telling Bill what I loved. I bounce like diamonds in a barrel of a gun around the speakers. Honestly, my mercenaries, if you get the chance, if you haven't done so already, get hold of this album and listen to it with headphones. This is definitely the ultimate headphone album. The ultimate headphone album. And for those in the know, this is a little nod and a wink to our debut album, Escapism. It's just me. It's just me. It's epic. This song is epic. Epic. This is the song you need to complement a film of such proportions. I watched Dunkirk this week, and I came out of that film feeling like I'd had the shit kicked out of me. If you haven't seen Dunkirk, holy shit. Now, one of the prettiest moments on the album. When I came up with this piece of music, I knew it was something special.
Wait on my soul. It takes its toll. Bridges left burning.
Our bridges are burning.
They'll tear down the
Whole world tonight.
all our
Revelations,
beneath.
expectations.
I just need to rest a while.
I love the sound of drums when they sound like you're listening to them outside a club. You know when there's a nightclub and all the stuff's going on inside, but you're standing outside. That muffled kind of, I like that.
Won't
Understand, there is no plan. We'll burn down the whole world tonight. It's like that kind of folk. Just having your foot on the bass drum, like you're a busker in the street. I see.
Put back together all the pieces I need. The one thing
I know.
that love make me crazy, so I'm broken and ready to go.
Here we go, big drums. It's all about that. Bum, bum. Anyone who wondered, if you didn't know how my music sounded, anyone who wondered how drummy it would be, it's drummy. I like interesting drums. I like interesting drums. Maybe that's why I'm so turned on by this kind of thing, because they got two drummers, and I just escape from society. That's me in the background singing, making it sound like the fucking heavens are falling. That sounds massive.
It's just me. Love showed me more than I was worth, all I wanted to know. Love made me crazy, so I'm broken and I'm ready to go.
I love recording stuff and then degrading the quality as well. I mentioned this before on one of my other commentaries, but recording stuff pristinely and then degrading the quality.
You can't kill me, I won't die. I built this all to feel alive. Bridges burning like the sky.
It's not frenetic,
Off the other side.
and yet it's still got something.
You can't kill me,
I won't die.
I built this
Oh God, Bill's vocals here make me cry.
bridges burning like the
Sky.
between the gulf and you and I. You can't kill me,
I won't die.
destroy it all, I'm still alive. Bridges burning like the sky.
This song is 9 minutes 30 seconds long. Just bear that in mind. You only need like 3 of these songs and you've got you know, a Beatles album or an Alice Cooper album or a King Gizzard album. Oh, yeah. Back on the boat. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's very good. If I say so myself. Into the final song on the album, My Mercenaries. The final song on the album, the devastatingly amazing, if I say so myself. The only way out is through. Bill came up with that album title.
March in line, all in time, all in time.
That's how life is. That's how today's been. The only way out is through. That's one of the reasons I'm listening to this album tonight, drinking 6.6% beer, talking with you. And if any of you are left watching this now, please understand that I appreciate more. I appreciate you. The belch was inappropriate. I appreciate you. Each and every one of you, more than you'll ever know. Just the comments. I love the comments. The only way out is through. 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 Fucking devastating, just those drums. Again, a little melody I came up with on the piano. And I came up with it and I thought, why hasn't anyone else ever thought of that? Listen, all my sequences, the impossible, only left to do. The only way out is through. Freedom enslaving you. Only way out is through. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. And that's it. That's the main riff from the Sampan Massacre. Hark back. If you were to listen to this album of Mercenaries, you'd notice that there are themes that run through the album that recur. It's not just the famous bands that can do that. That was TEHI, The Only Way Out is Through. If you enjoyed that, please, why not go and listen to the album. Go and buy the album. It's on Bandcamp. TEHI, The Only Way Out is Through. An album that soundtracks Apocalypse Now. Thank you, my mercenaries. That was the height, I admit, of self-indulgence. absolutely the height of self-indulgence. Blah, blah, blah. Absolutely the height of self-indulgence to listen to my own album with a lot of strong beer. But maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you didn't. Maybe only 2 or 3 of you stayed to the end. I enjoyed making that album. That album represents 4, 5 years of my life. Unfortunately, that's what life can boil down to. A series of moments. Thank you, my mercenaries. Thank you. Over and out.